Today's shop, we are talking 35-inch tires on the second gen Nissan Frontier, 2005 and 2021 or 2020, maybe, I don't know. I lose it after 2019. The good, because there's some good with it. The bad, there's some bad. And then I'm just going to be talking shit because that's kind of what I do. And it's not that easy to properly run 35s on these trucks. Just with how they're designed, it's not really built for an off-road truck to begin with. So it's kind of a feat. But here we go. So I'll really just get straight into it. Just kind of on the bad. Especially with these. They're heavy as fuck. They're expensive. You're going to lose a lot of fuel mileage. So whenever I say that they're expensive, I'd say that if you are not going to off-road with it, you probably only need 4 of them. But if you need a 5th one, so if you're planning on running like a traditional like AT road tire kind of, or like a mud terrain, $1,200-$1,300, just kidding, tack another $300-$400 on it for that 5th tire, that 5th wheel. Not only are they heavy, you lose miles per gallon, they're expensive, but balancing certain ones can be kind of a trick, especially the cheaper ones or the mud terrains, so you could be exploring vibrations or weird feelings in your pedals, steering wheel, etc. I know that some people have really good luck with the balancing beads. You could try those. I've driven a truck that had balancing beads on them, and it felt good once you got up and moving, but the slow, like, I don't know, like, I didn't see the speed I was actually going, or wasn't paying attention to it, but it just felt like down low in the lower speeds, it just kind of felt a little wonky, but once you got up high, it felt okay. Especially on these trucks, you're going to feel that drivetrain issue of take off slowly. Even though these trucks kind of come out of the box with a pretty powerful V6, hopefully you have the V6. If you have the 4-cylinder, you really should rethink running 35s. I mean, even with gears, it's going to suck. But you could definitely easily beat up your drivetrain on 35s. The rear ends I've seen blow out on 33s, beating the shit out of them. A carrier upgrade would be good for the Dana 44. I'm not sure on the C200K rear end. I know that you could put a carrier in it. I know that they offer some, but I can't attest to 35s on those. The only 35 experience I have with these are the M226 with an upgraded carrier, and stuff like that is just snowballing into an expense. Just as I sit here and talk about it, a carrier, buying it, install, you're looking at a good $1,000, $1,200, depending on where you go, or if you do it yourself, $1,000. If you do gears, if you're 4-wheel drive, now it's gears front and rear, so you're a couple of grand in now on gears. You throw the wheels in it if you're going to go with aftermarket wheels. So I mean, you're easy $3 to $4 grand in on running 35s if you're not too careful, and that's just to run them. That is not what you need to do for suspension to lift it up, or you could do a body lift. Oh my god. Or you could do a what are those called? Bracket lifts. You could do a bracket lift stacked onto a body lift. And even with those two, plus the 35s, you do need to be careful about the wheels that you choose, because like OEM style wheels, they're more inset to the body to protect the body. So if you pick an aggressive set of wheels, they're going to stick out pretty far. So you combine those wheels that stick out far with the 35s, you're going to be throwing a ton of shit all over the side of your truck. It's gonna suck. That is gonna suck. But it really depends on what you want to do. So say that you are just wanting to go to Cars and Coffee, you're wanting to do some super, super light duty camping, service trails, really no off-road at all, you could get away with just like a body lift, mild suspension lift, and aggressive tires to get you or aggressive wheels to kind of give you the look. Wouldn't go off-road though. Wouldn't do it. Unless you want to replace this whole fender on, upside, front here, and then the back wheel well. Fender wells? Bedsides? Bedsides? We'll go with bedsides. Yeah, I know from just spacing out the rear, I think on a 1.5 inch spacer or like the Titan, I got it sitting right here, sorry, pointing right at it. The Titan width axle, I know that once you throw 33s on it, you're going to be fucking the bed sides up if you're not careful. So you have to bend and like pull those out a little bit. So to run 35s and to run them in an aggressive off-road kind of way, you are absolutely going to need to cut these a lot. Yeah, I mean easily you're getting, like you see this flat piece right here, you're easily going above that to be able to get full flex out of that 35-inch tire as far up as it wants to go. I mean, you could do obviously your limit straps to limit your droop. You could do an aggressive bump stop to maybe save you from blowing out your fender. But these trucks really aren't out of the box designed to run that aggressively large of a tire. Take a look at the Jeep JLs, for example. I know the newest ones, man, I think there's a couple of models that come with 35s on them. But look at the wheel well, look how open it is. The whole front bumper is essentially nothing, like it's up here, so you got a ton of tire clearance. I think you can do like a level kit and run a 35 on it. You could do some minor clearancing to be able to fully flex them out. So there's a lot of other options for a lot of other vehicles. So if you really think about it whenever you decide that you want to run a 35-inch tire on one of these trucks, because it's a lot more than what you think it is at a glance. Like, just to harken back to the JL again, the Jeep JL, you can buy a package of that Jeep with an aggressive gear ratio, like a 410 gear, or I think that's probably the deepest that they'll let you go. But that's the off-road version of that package. So you can easily get 35s on it and not feel such a drivetrain heavy loss and not put so much stress on that drivetrain. Whereas here, it's a lot of aftermarket parts, people that don't always stand by their warranties, wait times for parts. You got your install mechanic guy that you got to dick with. Like, it adds up and stacks up so fast. I think 35s are not worth it. I think that, if anything, you should take away. Hold on. Oh my God. I looked at a couple of guys on the YouTube that had done 35s on their Frontiers, and actually saw quite a bit of videos. I was surprised that there were so many guys on YouTube that had ran 35s. And this is no knock on anybody in particular. I'm a shit bum whenever it comes to like putting my trucks together. If I'm working on someone else's truck, totally different. You take your time, you make sure everything's done right. My truck, kind of treat it like shit. And when I say that a lot of these guys that are running 35s are running 35s so they can go to the grocery store. There's absolutely zero fucking possible way that they were able to get full flex out of it. And a lot of their trucks look beautiful. That's awesome, good for them. But I'm talking about more from the standpoint of being able to actually take it off-road and enjoy it in a meaningful way and hit a little section of whoops, not, fast like crazy or, like a pre-runner truck, but being able to hit off-camber trails and do a fun climb and not worry about what your body's doing, or say you didn't cut this right and you get full flex out of this tire and it jumps up into this fender and you blow out a 35 on the trail. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of comes into running these 35s, and it's not always a good idea to do it just in general. I'm back on it. I don't think you should do it. Don't do it. I think I'm giving you a hard time though. You do whatever you want. You're an adult. Oh look, piece of candy. Fuck. Truth be told, I fucking love 35s in this truck. They are smooth as butter off-road. It turns big obstacles into little obstacles. It fucking looks great. Well, small caveat, I had fender flares on this before I had 35s because I had rust in the back. 35s, those had to go, and I've done nothing since because it's an off-road truck. Yeah, okay. I love 35s. I really do. I fucking hate that it's such a nightmare to run 35s on this truck. I really do. Because the truck looks great and it drives great. And I say that with a small grain of salt because I've also got the V8, the VK swap. If I didn't have that, it probably wouldn't be nearly as much fun. And I've got a true track in the rear. And that makes time so much fun. Burnouts, whenever you want. Totally a great time. I am going to go back down to 33s. So, full stop, going back down to 33s. All the off-road places around me are within a couple of hours, really. But they're all off-road parks. None of them are really like scenic stuff and like fun camping, scenic shit. I'm trying to get a little bit further away from home, and to do that, I need a lot more on-road miles. And I'm always a little carefree whenever I'm off-road. There's dents and dings all over this truck from being off-road. So I think I've been lucky so far, but I do think that the stress that I'm putting on this drivetrain combined with the V8, I don't have gears, I'm on the 336. I just think that it's a better idea for me to go back down to the 33s. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I've done to make 35s work on this truck. You could do it a lot better than this. This was a trail cut. And then these shouldn't be here. Other than that, it's not too bad. But I've done a Titan swap up front. Full Titan everything, inner and outer tie rods, Titan 08 brakes, which I'm actually going to go down to the 4 to 7, 2004 to 2007 brakes so I can put 17s on this because right now I'm on 18s. Radflow 2.5s up front. Tubular upper control arm, stock lower control arm. That's really up front. Cut the fuck out of it. And you're like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. Like, I get full flex out of it. It's great. It's fun. The intake for my air, my hand is in the intake hole now. It's in the intake hole. Really bad time. You should see some of my air filters. You should. Don't know how this engine's still running. The rear, I actually had a shitload of rust. And so cutting that was much easier. That was nicer. I had to cut the fuck out of that. And in the rear, I think I originally ran PRG shackles on stock leaf springs. And now I am on the All Dogs Off-Road Modular Leaf Pack. And I've set that to medium. And I'm on the lowest setting on the PRG shackle. And then I think I've just got them Bilsteins in the back for shocks. I do have a set of Fox 2.5s from a Raptor, but I just haven't gotten that far yet. So I've ran 35s on this truck for a couple of years now. I've had no problems. I think a lot of that is due to the carrier upgrade that I've done in the rear. I have shot out 2 drive shafts. Yeah, one of them was brand new. Yeah, that's been fun. Other than that, dude, actually 35s. Oh, I had to cut the fuck out of the body. Going back down to 33s, new fenders, new front valance, taking the bed off, gonna do a flat bed. So all that shit's gonna go away anyway, so it's not that big of a deal now. I'm gonna miss them. They feel so smooth. Oh, they feel so good. I think if you're dead serious about running 35s and you really want to do it, you need to decide what you're going to do with it. Because if you are not going to go off-road and you're not going to hit some trails, you can take a much easier route than I did, and your truck won't look like shit when you're done. Now, if you want to go off-road, get out that cutting wheel. Yep. But I think 33s are about perfect on these trucks. I really do. They fit with just a minor cut at the lower fender here, and then a little bit of massaging of the rear wheel arch, and you get full flex out of it. You're going to be able to hit most of the trails that you would ever really want to go to. I saw a guy do the Rubicon, or a lot of the Rubicon on 33s. I've seen a stock Frontier on the Rubicon, and he did not have a good time. He may as well have just cut the fenders. So it's really up to you exactly what you want to do and how you want to configure it. My truck just it was a snowball. Like, I wasn't going to do the VK swap, and it fell on my lap. I wasn't going to do 33s, but I had some 35s fall on my lap. Stuff like that. But I'm kind of now figuring out where I want the truck to be in the future. So the 35s, as much as I do love them, I'm going to go back down to 33s. I had them for years. I don't really care about the MPG loss. The drivetrain stuff hasn't really been that big of an issue. Both times I got stranded. Since I've got four-wheel drive, I was able to limp home, so it really wasn't that bad. But again, whenever I talk about going 2,000 miles away from my house, I don't want to shit out a drive shaft on, day 3. It's going to piss me off. Even if I've got a spare one, the fact that I've done it twice and one of them was brand new really kind of bothers me. So that's not something I want to continue doing. So I would rather roast a 33 off than break a drive shaft and be kind of stranded, or have to limp it home 1,000 miles on, front wheel drive. All right, cool. Hopefully you guys had some fun watching, because I actually kind of had fun making this one. This one was kind of fun. I'm going to do some more content with this sucker coming up soon. I have got to get some other projects done. I've been redoing my office. It's been a bit, but hopefully this stuff kind of comes back into the picture soon. I've got an off-road trailer that I'm building. That's coming up soon. That's sooner than this, actually. That's going to be in the shop over the next week or two, maybe a month maximum. But that's it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, having a beer or two with me, and hopefully I've helped you to decide what route you want to go in. Because it would suck to bend over for a piece of candy, and then you pull your head back up. That's a great truck. I've been treating it like shit lately, but it is actually a really good truck. More on this soon. Thank you.